Hello everyone, back to today's third video. We're going to have a look at the midday runs of the models for today's third video in terms of the chance of some very cold weather starting in around a week's time and running into the final days of February and then possibly lasting into the beginning of March. So all the shorter range models, the GFS, the E70F and the GM will be included in this update, as well as the GFS ensembles. So you'll be able to see how things are panning out for this evening's latest hot off the presses model runs. Just say that to start off with today, we did the weekend forecast. You can find that video here on the homepage. It's just above Snow Desk. So the storyline in the coming week is that we're going to see that high pressure gradually, slowly getting up towards Scandinavia, getting the wind into the east. But initially, it's not going to be a particularly cold easterly wind. So you'll feel the chill later on in the week. So it'll be cold enough for night frost, maybe cold enough for a few snow throws down the east coast, but nothing really cold happening at least until the second half of next weekend. I mean, it's at that point and beyond into the following week that we're focusing on for the chance of some very cold, bitterly cold easy winds and heavy snow. And that's what today's third video will focus on. Just to say that today's second video with CFS 6 months look ahead, just for fun, it takes us from next month, from March, right way through to August, can you believe? So it's just for a laugh. Have a look and see what you think, what CFS is showing for the spring and for the summer. But now we're going to get on with your Saturday evening model summaries or roundup. So we're going to begin with the GFS model. This is the GFS for Wednesday. We've got high pressure ridging through the country, going up towards Scandinavia, bringing in a little bit of an easterly, northeasterly wind here across southeastern parts of the country. It isn't particularly cold at this point, but we are under high pressure, and it's winter, so you'd expect some quite cold nights, I would have thought. Some pretty chilly nights, probably frosty, and maybe some freezing fog patches as well. Into Thursday, and we're actually bringing in an easterly wind across southern parts of the country. It's not a bitterly cold easterly, but you'll certainly notice it. It will have a real chill to it, and it's probably going to be cold enough to be bringing a few snow flurries into East Anglia and South East England, particularly around the coast. Otherwise, we're just generally still under high pressure, but notice the high pressure is ridging to Scandinavia. So that's how Friday and Saturday are looking. High pressure dominating over Scandinavia. Notice the central pressure of that high pressure is going up all the time, so it's 1,045 millibars now, with a proper easterly to southeasterly wind coming in across the British Isles. Now, the bitterly cold air, the severely cold air, and it is severe cold air, is just to our east and northeast over here, generally to the east of Denmark and Germany on Saturday. But if you follow the isobars back, go downstream, you see that that's where the air is coming from. So as we go into Sunday, obviously that bitterly cold air is getting closer to us. Notice the central pressure of this Scandinavian high is now up to 1,050 millibars. Very intense area of high pressure now setting up across northern Scandinavia, with these bitterly cold air, flooding across the continent by Sunday. There's the upper air temperatures for Sunday, showing that the severely cold air is just over the other side of the North Sea. Certainly at this point, it's cold enough for snow showers across eastern parts of the country. The winds are relatively light, so not a lot to push those snow showers inland, but it certainly is cold enough to be getting snow showers developing down the east coast. That's how Monday is looking, Monday 26th of February, and it looks really cold. We're bringing in the wind from the east and the southeast. The difference with this particular run of the GFS is that the high pressure is rather further north, so not centred over central Scandinavia, centred over northern Scandinavia, which means the isobars are a little bit lighter. There's not as much to funnel that cold air in from the east. But if I show you the upper air temperatures, you'll see most parts of the country bitterly cold, and again, certainly cold enough for snow. And the snow risk with bad is probably more for the north, but of course that's too far away for that kind of detail. These are all just variations of the theme, really. The theme is pretty much the same, but it's slightly different in terms of the way it's setting up. That's day 10, still looking very cold. Low pressure is having a go to come up from the southwest, and this possibly sets us up for a big snow event as we go through to the very end of the month. We've got milder upper air temperatures just trying to get into the southwest. Bitterly cold air is established over most of the UK, of course, and that's a kind of chart by Thursday the 1st of March. It does indicate the chance of a real snow event there with bitterly cold east or southeast winds, and there's no doubt weather fronts strung out across the country, far too far away for that kind of detail. So the GFS is broadly the same, it's just slightly different in the position of the Scandinavian high, which means it isn't as quite as extremely cold as that 6 o'clock run was that I showed you earlier on, but broadly it's all still on course with the GFS. Those are the GFS ensembles. You're looking at Birmingham there, and you'll notice there are now many ensemble members that are going really really cold. So this is the coldest members down here, mildest members up there. The operation run, what we're just looking at of the GFS model, is actually one of the warmer members in the extended range, although it is very cold for a time around the 25th, 26th of February. But there's a lot of scatter there, but what we can say is that overall the GFS ensembles are trending colder, because on the earlier ensemble charts, we haven't shown you today, I can tell you that on the earlier ensemble charts, there were only sort of a handful of really cold members. Now we have got several, many ensemble members are going to really cold, very cold categories of -10 to -15 at 850 HPA. So the GFS ensembles are strengthening the cold signal, if anything, for the end of February. This is for GEM, the Canadian model. We've got high pressure reaching through the country on Wednesday. We take that high pressure to our east. It is having a bit of a struggle to get to Scandinavia, so the wind is, by Saturday, wind is coming from the east, but it's not a direct hit at this point from Russia. That's how we go up to the extended range. So we're building the heights over Scandinavia, but we still have this ridge down across British Isles, so not quite letting in that severely cold air from the east. That's how we finish up at day 10, which is Tuesday 27th of February. The Scandinavian high is established. The ridge is down across the British Isles. All that has to happen is that this ridge just has to move ever so slightly north, and we'll bring in that cold air. Look how cold it is across the continent. Just over the other side of the North Sea, a big freeze is engulfing most parts of the continent. All we have to do is just raise that ridge up ever so slightly, and we'll open the door to that exceptionally cold air from the east. As it is, by day 10, Tuesday 27th of February, we are bringing some cold air into the east. If we could run on another 24 hours, I suspect that would allow in those really cold east winds. And then finally, for tonight's round, we've got the ECMWF. It's just been updating as I've been talking. So this is how things are looking for Wednesday. Again, there's the ridge building through the country, pushing up to the northeast. That high pressure stays in control through to the end of the week. So by Friday, we are bringing in a gentle easterly wind across southern and southeastern parts of the country, probably cold enough to bring a few snow flurries in at that point. That's Saturday, high pressure increasingly pushing up towards Scandinavia, so that by Sunday, looks like we're about to open the door to those proper easterly winds again. And there we go on to Monday, 26th of February. Here comes the easterly, got bitterly cold air sitting across central parts of Europe. Those are the upper air temperatures by Monday, 26th of February, feeding in that bitterly cold air from the east. And then that's how we go up to Tuesday, day 10. Tuesday 27th of February, where we've got a strong Scandinavian high. We've got the easterly wind coming in. It looks like some sort of disturbance is developing over the North Sea there. So if we could go on, shame can't go on another 24 hours. If we could, I think we'd find an area of low pressure coming in across England and Wales from the North Sea, bringing persistent and heavy outbreaks of snow. Not surprising, given how severely cold the upper air temperatures are looking. So essentially it's still on course, but there are some little variations within the theme going on. So what we can say is that midweek got high pressure building through the country. By the end of the week, we're taking that high pressure to our east, gently turning wind into the east, and it will be a cold, quite a cold wind even at the end of the week, probably enough to bring snow flurries onto the east coast. I suspect you'll notice some quite hard night frost as well And then the question is whether we get that high pressure far enough into Scandinavia to allow in that truly cold, severe air from the east and develop a big freeze of a chance of some very heavy snow. It's too far away to have confidence about it, but broadly, I think the model runs are still there or thereabouts tonight. So there've been no sort of nasty surprises. The only difference is that we're slightly delaying bringing in the coldest of the air, probably because we're not getting the reach of Scandinavia quite as quickly, but overall it's just sort of variations of the theme, and the broad themes are still very much there. So it's a case of just wait and see how this develops. Will we get this big freeze at the end of February? Keep checking back for more. Tomorrow we're going to have some spring analogues. We're going to have the Gazmo with Sunny Roundup, and I suspect we'll probably do an ensembles watch as well. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.